The UFC has a heavyweight problem and it's a major issue affecting the sport. Today I wanted to get on the microphone and rant about it for probably too long and just give you my takes on the heavyweight division. I'm Buddy King MMA and today's video is the UFC's heavyweight problem. The heavyweight division back in the day used to be stacked. It used to be known for its knockouts. It had the likes of Brock Lesnar, Shane Carwin, Junior Dos Santos, Cain Velasquez, I'll even say Frank Mir. Then even the lower skilled guys like Bigfoot Silva, Alistair Overeem, who never won a belt but was still a killer, and even Roy Nelson. Are you kidding me? It then transitioned into guys like, let's say Stipe Miocic, Daniel Cormier, Francis Ngannou. These guys were all so fun to watch. They were absolute killers. And what do we have now? A roid cheat, woman abuser, cokehead. Which is going to be Conor McGregor in the next 2 years, but still. We're gonna get to Jon Jones and his ducky behavior. But first, I want to go through the entire rankings of the UFC heavyweight division and break it down fighter by fighter. Now, we're gonna start outside the rankings. You have a bunch of Uber drivers on the side, 5'10", 260-pound men who don't go to the gym. They be eating their noodles and stuff. They be eating Doritos, and then they just get in the cage and make a good paycheck while other guys are out there 5'10", being in their weight classes, like lightweight. Or not even, featherweights are like 5'10" at this point, killing themselves to make that weight, while these heavyweights just shouldn't even be heavyweights. They just keep eating and don't stop and don't actually train and don't have consistency in the gym. Okay, sorry. You do have promising guys, though. I will say, like Talison Teixeira, he's 6'7". His build is pretty normal for a guy that big. So, and he clearly looked skilled in his 20-second fight against Justin Tafa, a blob in himself. My God. But then you get into the top 15, and even the top 10, and you say, what is going on? And once you get to the skilled guys, there's still a lot of problems, and today I want to go through that. Now, looking at the rankings here, number 15 ranked, No Diet Don'Tale Mayes. Now, he just got ankle locked by Walter Walker, so Walter Walker will definitely be taking that number 15 spot, but at the time of recording this, Don'Tale Mayes is somehow ranked number 15. That's just a problem in itself. Even Walter Walker being number 15 is a problem. Then we have Kennedy Nzechukwu. He moved up to heavyweight from light heavyweight because he has a brain in his head. I actually like this move a lot. He saw the skill gap. He saw how much better light heavyweights are. And I think this was a genius move on Kennedy's part. I think other guys in light heavyweight, like a Johnny Walker, would benefit majorly moving up to heavyweight just because heavyweight is so bad. Nzechukwu proving that he's ranked. Are you kidding me? McDonald's Porkin is somehow 13th ranked. Oh my God. Now, people love this guy. They hype him up. Look at his build. I mean, seriously, he looks like melted ice cream out there. Anyone in the top 6 right now, I think, crushes this guy. But that also is a problem because top 6 is very niche. What's going on here? Don't get me wrong. I actually think McRibbon is decent. I think he's a skilled fighter. He's just fat. But it gets a lot worse than McRibs. Because Waldo Cortez Acosta, Shamil Gaziev, Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, and Marcin Tybura are all following. Waldo Cortez Acosta, he's literally built like his name would be Waldo. Moving on. Shamil Gaziev, I'm not going to say anything about our goat. Tai Tuivasa, are you serious? This guy literally looks like an ad for Burger King and diabetes. Might I add, the UFC just cut Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who had a decent build for heavyweight and was actually a good fighter, beat Tai Tuivasa, schooled him, in fact, made him look embarrassing, made him look like diabetes even more. Rozenstruik lost to 4th-ranked Sergey Pavlovich by a boring decision, which wasn't even his fault. Pavlovich also was in there, and they cut him. I don't know if their new AI system for rankings forgot to list the Jairzinho Rozenstruik in there, so they panicked and just cut him out of the UFC. But that makes no sense. It's unbelievable they're hanging on to unskilled fat heavyweights like this, but cutting someone like Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's actually a decent fighter. The last time Tai Tuivasa got a win, I think Stan Lee was still cameoing in Marvel movies, so it's been a minute. Derek Lewis being inside the top 10 is just insane in 2025. Don't get me wrong, I love Derek Lewis. I think he's hilarious. He's got a lot of power. That's about it. That's about it. Marcin Tybura. I don't think Tybura is all that bad. It's just crazy that he's number 8 in the world, and he's scheduled to fight Mick Porkin. Mick Porkin wins. He's number 8, which I would rather have, weirdly. I don't know. It's a mess. Okay, right here, right above him, we get to a guy that isn't entirely obese. Sergey Spivak. Don't get me wrong, he's not jacked, but he's a big dude, and he has like a normal build for someone that big, which is a problem in itself, being a professional athlete that's trained your whole life to be an average build for someone your height. The problem is he's just not that good, and we've seen all the guys above him beat him. When he fights better competition, guys like Aspinall are gone, he just gets embarrassed and crumbles. So number 7 or whatever he is probably the best he'll ever be. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're in the top 6. This is where we have some skill. Except there's still problems. Let's talk about it. Jailton Almeida. This dude is literally the embodiment of a steroid. Don't get me wrong, I think he's talented. He's insanely strong. I wonder why. And his grappling is probably the best in the heavyweight division. Some of the best in the whole UFC. The problem with Jailton Almeida is that he's lost to a guy like Curtis Blades already. Hard to get above the rankings when you lose to a guy like Curtis Blades. I think people above him would beat him, someone like a Tom Aspinall, maybe even a Ciryl Gane. I don't know, actually. Jailton Almeida might actually run through Ciryl Gane. The major issue for me, though, is that no one wants Jailton Almeida to be a champion. Please, for the love of God, keep him away from that belt. I will say this, though. His issue isn't as big because he's only lost to like a Curtis Blades. He hasn't lost to multiple guys above him. And the Curtis Blades fight, he honestly was dominating until he made a stupid mistake and just allowed Curtis to hit the side of his head until he blacked out. So that's okay, though. It was a glorious day when Curtis Blades won. I'm not a big Jailton Almeida fan, but he's decent. What does concern me, though, is that he's shown struggle and had to come against adversity against Sergey Spivak, who I just ranted about being bad. Anyways, right above him is the man I mentioned him losing to, Curtis Blades, who I really like. He's always taking on dangerous opponents. He never backs down. He's always giving the guys below him a shot. Always showing and putting on good fights. What's tough for Blades is that he's literally lost to the guys above him, like Pavlovich and Aspinall. And they weren't close. He kind of got smoked. Getting back up to those fights is going to be a challenge, but he also has options. Guys like Ciryl Gane, he hasn't fought, and guys like Volkov, I could see him getting a fight against. I'm pretty sure they may have fought before, but I could see a rematch if that's the case. I don't think Blades will ever see the title, but I really like him. I think he's always going to be kind of a gatekeeper for this top 5. He's pretty good. Someone I mentioned Blades losing to is right above him, Sergey Pavlovich. Now, the problem with Pavlovich is this dude lost all of his aura. He was literally the scariest fighter in the UFC, knocking everybody out. Granted, he beat Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa, which isn't aging that well. What I can give him credit for is that he knocked out Curtis Blades. That's a brilliant win. People were so on board of Sergey Pavlovich that we thought he was going to knock out Tom Aspinall. Are we stupid? Yes. Yes, we are. Now, that fight was very competitive going into it, and Tom Aspinall even got tagged a little bit, but Aspinall obviously KO'd Pavlovich out cold, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, Aspinall's the GOAT. He then followed that up by losing to Alexander Volkov, and it was embarrassing. He got schooled and then threw a fit about it. He lost all of his aura right there. He comes back against Rosenstrike. You say, okay, he's going to get a first-round KO. Nope. He makes it a very boring decision. Aura is completely gone. The only way he can restore it is if he gets like a Ciryl Gane fight and knocks out Gane in the first or second round or something. He might be back, but I just don't see that world happening. He lost all of his aura, and he's never going to be a champion, I don't think, because he's already losing to guys that are just better than him skill-wise. Alexander Volkov. Okay, there's a lot of good things to say about Alexander Volkov. He's talented, he's huge, he's in good shape, he's actually skilled, he's on a crazy resurgence. Yeah, he's lost to Tom Aspinall, but who hasn't out of the people that choose to fight him? He lost to Ciryl Gane a couple years ago, and they ran it back. It was a great rematch, and he absolutely schooled Ciryl Gane, showing he's for real and should get a title shot. Nothing bad to say about Volkov. Honestly, he's like pretty secure. He should be next in... Wait a minute. They gave the decision to Ciryl Gane? I'm about to be gone from the UFC. Oh my god. What is happening? Literally one of the worst robberies I've seen in years. It was so bad. Even Gane thought he lost. And this killed heavyweight even more than it's already dead, if that makes sense. It's like the dead body's laying there and you're still just popping off on him because you're mad. You're teabagging him right now because you're so mad. Anyways, the problem here is that you can't give Volkov a title shot, which he debatably deserves, but you can't do that because he just lost to Ciryl Gane, who has been given multiple title shots, that against Francis Ngannou and then against Jon Jones, and he's crumbled in both those fights. Ciryl Gane is actually, he's cool. He's in probably the best shape out of any heavyweight in the roster. Maybe him or Almeida, but Almeida's probably on steroids. He's elite, he has great striking, but again, he's lost to Jones, he's lost to Ngannou. If you ever have him win the belt, if he fights like a Tom Aspinall and wins the belt, you're just going to say, Jon Jones beat him, Jon Jones retired, Jon Jones still the GOAT, and Francis Ngannou's in the PFL, and he beat him. Francis Ngannou's the best heavyweight. Easy solution right there. But you can't have Ciryl Gane as a champion. If they just gave Volkov that win, you could run the Volkov versus like Aspinall match, the rematch, and it would make sense right now. It really would. Don't get me wrong, Aspinall hasn't fought a guy like Ciryl Gane. They've never fought. That would be a good fight as well. But we just saw Volkov beat Gane, so it's just like there's no intrigue really. I wouldn't care as much. I would rather see the Volkov fight, even though I think Aspinall kills them both. But let's just move on to the absolute Chad. Our superhero, Tom Aspinall. Without a doubt, the best heavyweight on the roster. He has an average fight time of just over 2 minutes. He's stopped everyone he's faced. He's humble. He's the defending interim champion. Defending interim champion? Yeah, Tom Aspinall is the interim champion, beating Pavlovich for the title, setting up a match between him and Jon Bones Jones, the GOAT. Well, Jon Jones has been ducking Aspinall for like a year straight. He went out there and defended the title. Aspinall went out there and defended the interim title against Curtis Blaydes and knocked him out in the first round, like a real champ should. Proving he is a threat to the undisputed champion, Jon Jones, who just, by the way, finished, I believe he's 58 years old now, Stipe Miocic, 4 years retired or something like that. Stipe, the fireman Miocic. And then he gloats like he's still the greatest fighter and is the baddest man on the planet. Listen, Jon Jones is the GOAT. He has a great resume. His accolades are insane. All of that stuff. You know what else he's the GOAT in? Most failed drug tests. Most women beat. Most ducks in 1 year. And he might be gay. That doesn't matter. Like, I might be gay. Look at me. But that's just crazy. Okay, moving on. Where I'm frustrated is that Jon Jones, the GOAT of the sport, is so scared of Tom Aspinall that he's asking for $40 million to fight him. But if you want to fight Alex Pereira, he'll do that for his normal contract. He's saying, I don't want to fight Tom Aspinall because he's young and hungry and $40 million. What's Pereira? Pereira's hungry. Pereira wants to be a triple champ. It makes no sense. Pereira's just as dangerous, but I think he knows he could beat Pereira. He has ways to beat Pereira, whereas for Aspinall, he knows he'd lose. So he wants that money. So even if he does, when he does lose, it won't matter that much to him. Don't get me wrong. I get it. I get what he's saying. But there's just so much wrong with that. It proves he's terrified of Tom Aspinall. And honestly, if Jon Jones came out and said, hey, I'm like 40 years old. My body doesn't feel very good anymore. I want one more fight and I want it to be fun and I want to fight Pereira because Tom Aspinall is literally going to run this division after me. And I just don't want to have a tough fight like that for my last fight. And then Tom Aspinall can have his time after me. People would probably respect that. People would be like, wow, Jon Jones knows that Aspinall would probably beat him. That's not anything to be ashamed about as a 40-year-old man when Aspinall is this young up-and-comer. People would probably respect that. But no, Jon Jones is trying to say that Tom Aspinall doesn't deserve it when Tom Aspinall has literally beat like pretty much everyone in that top 10. Let's go through it. He's beat Pavlovich. He's beat Curtis Blaydes. He's beat Spivak. He's beat Tybura. He's beat Volkov. Like, he's beat 5 of the top 10 just off the top of my head. There's probably more even. I don't even know. The problem is that Tom Aspinall wants this fight. Tom Aspinall deserves this fight. And we have a reigning defending champion, undisputed champion, go to the sport, who's saying he's willing to vacate his belt to face Derek Lewis. I can't. Hello? What? Is this like Misfits boxing of the WWE? What is this matchmaking? Oh my god. It's just disgraceful, and it's gotten so bad. Jon Jones is a duck, we all know this. He went on an Instagram live, and this is what really fueled me to make this video. I was like, oh my god, Jon Jones is crashing out. He went on an Instagram live just recently, talking about how he wants to kill a man, and then just ended it abruptly. If you want to kill a man, get in the cage with Tom Aspinall and try to kill him. Prove to us that you can kill a man, because usually you just go to decision, buddy. Please don't show up at my house. I just wanted to get on the microphone and yap about this. There's no order in the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall is our saving grace, but even if when he kills Jon Jones in the cage, brutal knockout. First round, mark my words, it will happen. He'll knock Jon Jones out within 2 rounds and make it look really easy. I think he would probably KO him in the first 3 minutes. Just the facts. Tom Aspinall will be the champion, undisputed, But even then, we have problems because he's beat everyone. I think a Gon or Almeida matchup would be interesting, but he just runs through those guys. Don't get me wrong, I think he would dominate Alex Pereira, but I think that would be a sight to see. If Pereira can beat Ankalaev and Aspinall beats Jones, Pereira versus Aspinall, Pereira going for triple champ, that would be crazy. Imagine the stare down. Oh my god. That's our only hope. We need the UFC to sign more talent for the heavyweight division. Guys who actually go to the gym. Guys who are in better shape than me, who doesn't do any training. I've never been to a gym. And I'm a skinny, I think I'm a skinny little man. Look at this. Maybe I'll join the heavyweight division.